We are
Rolling.
rolling.
Rolling. Episode, you know what episode we're on?
Yes, 35.
It is 35. Nice. It's because you create those thumbnails.
Yes, it is.
Very nice. Good job. So episode 35 of the Building and Becoming show. Welcome, everybody. We appreciate it. You know, we were talking the other day that we need to treat every piece of content we're making, especially for YouTube, as it's made for people that have no idea who we are.
Correct. I told you that.
You did. And I thought, that's interesting. I don't generally do that. So, okay, we're going to pretend you have no idea who we are. We are Jim and Allie. Actually, now we are Jim and Allie Motz.
We are. Yes.
We've been married for a few weeks by the time this comes out.
Yes.
And it's going so far, so good. So pretty excited about all that. And we have been on a mission for the last, call it seriously, for about a year. We've been doing a podcast for a couple of years, but for the last year, when we started Building and Becoming in our school community, and we rebranded everything that we do from the podcast to the YouTube channel as Building and Becoming, we've been serious about building a platform of what we now coin paid discipleship.
Yes.
Paid discipleship is something that if you're anybody, you're going to be new to that term because I've never heard it before.
Right.
We consider ourselves pioneers of this movement.
Yes.
And that's kind of an interesting way to put it, but I think it's fitting. And here's what I mean when I say paid discipleship. So I'm in church settings a lot, men's groups, things of that nature. Allie and I are Christian folks. We love Jesus with all our hearts. And what I hear is, man, the church just doesn't disciple people enough. And you know, I go there and we do worship music and there's a good lesson and from the pastor, but I don't feel that I'm getting discipled. And so what does that mean? And for me, it means that it's about going deeper, growing in your faith in a way that needs to happen more intentionally than hearing a sermon once in a while at church. Or some dudes and women will go to women's groups or men's group and they'll listen to a speaker talk for 20 or 30 minutes and they sit around at some round tables together. And one guy might go on for another 20 minutes about his problems in life and this and that. And, oh, hey, you know what, Bob, we're going to pray for you. And that's too bad. And I think that's wonderful that those things happen, but there's no growth there.
Right.
What we wanted to do is we wanted to create an environment, a community, a curriculum, accountability, encouragement, tools, all of those things that would help people grow, not only in their relationship with Christ, because I think we agree that true discipleship is multifaceted.
Yes.
It entails faith, yes, but also our bodies.
Right. There's levels to it.
Our mindset.
Yep.
What about our lifestyles?
Right.
Family.
Yeah.
How we show up for them every day. All of this is discipleship, right? And it's just not being taught at church at an effective level.
Right.
So we wanted to create a program. I don't like the word program, but it kind of fits, and a community. So Building and Becoming is in an online community called Skool, Skool. You guys familiar with Skool? It's pretty cool. You should check it out. So what we did is we have a community in there. It's kind of like a private text thread type of a thing. There's daily devotionals that are posted in there. There's hours and hours of recorded modules. We do several Zoom calls a week that are very scripture oriented and practical, actionable steps oriented that talk about excellence and standards and discipline and habits and how to work out and how to improve your nutrition and just everything that encompasses becoming your best self.
Right.
It's all part of walking a life in Jesus.
Yep.
We use the term ARETÉ, ARETE. It's the Greek word for excellence, and it's godly excellence. And if you go back and look at early translations of the Bible, the original Greek has the word ARETÉ all the way through it.
Yeah.
And it's because it's important to God that as Christ following people that we show up as our best selves and operate in excellence. Is church teaching you to do that every Sunday? No. What about men's group? No. What about the Brave Conference? No, it's a women's gathering. They're not teaching you that. They're not bad things, but they're not talking about the nuts and bolts of the hows and the whys. Also in our community, there's daily encouragement. We've got members that are meeting up for coffee and reaching out to each other. You didn't know this. Mike Freeman reached out to me the other day and he says, hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but Mark, who's in the group, asked me to be his accountability buddy so I can help him make sure he's out of bed at 5:00 in the morning. I'm like, these guys have never even met in person and have made this connection to where, hey, I know this is a habit and a discipline I need to improve upon. Would you hook up with me and help hold me accountable? That's what we do. That's being discipled. That's not happening on a men's group
Right.
once a week. So when we talk about paying for this, yeah, it's amazing to me that the same people that'll tell me they pay $250 a month to have somebody take care of their lawn want to throw a cup of coffee in my face when I tell them that an elite level of paid discipleship that's going to change their lives and build their legacy and help them draw closer to God and get in the best shape of their lives and change everything about their lives. When I tell them that's $99 a month, they're angry and want to tell me that I'm some sort of heathen. Like, wait a minute. So give the list of all your priorities in life and how many things you actually pay for. Most things.
Hmm.
Yet, if a Christ following person is telling you, if they're really doing an analysis of their priorities in life, I'll give you mine, and I think it probably lines up with yours. So, faith, family, fitness are kind of important things,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Why wouldn't you want to pay for elite levels that would help you improve in those areas? I don't understand that mindset.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with ego on their end. I think that they don't consider you credible. I think that there's a lot of reasons on why they would not want to part with that $99
Yeah,
because to them that's their last $99.
exactly.
And to the people that want to be that way, I don't think that we want them in the group anyways.
Totally agree. When you talk about credibility, so yeah, who am I? Well, who I am is a guy that's got over 20 plus years of being in leadership, a guy that's had his life transformed by Jesus Christ, a guy who has overcome addiction, and a guy who has been through a lot of trials in life, and a guy who used to be obese and out of shape horribly. And now I'm just not. And don't rely on my credibility, rely on the word of God, because that's what I'm coming with in all the trainings. And what I invite people to do is a couple things. First off, join us. I'm going to make sure you get a free week. Okay. No money, no obligation. Then if you stay for a month, that is $99. No contract. You can leave after that month. So what I'm inviting you to do is come in for 5 weeks for $99. Okay, that's not much of a risk. And join a couple Zoom calls a week, watch some recorded trainings, read the devotionals every morning, get engaged and meet the other members of the group and listen to their testimonies about what we do, not mine. Listen to the other members of the group. Hook up with Jerry and Nancy Johnson. Talk to Mike Freeman,
Hmm.
right? Reach out to Rick Bradley over in Council Bluffs. I can get you in the chat feature. You can reach out to a wonderful gal named China who lives up in Ottawa, Canada, who's part of our group. Nate Garcia, guy that used to be local, lives out in Idaho, is part of our group. Way out on the West Coast, we got Dan Garrity, a jujitsu guy and a restaurateur and a chef who is just a freaking savage who's in our coaching program and a part of Building and Becoming. There's so many people you can reach out to and just say, hey, I'm in here for a week or I'm in here for 5 weeks. Tell me what you're getting out of this and just get their testimonies. But I encourage everyone to do this because if following Jesus and getting in shape are big deals to you, I'm guessing they are if you're in the group or you're considering the group or you're watching the podcast. If these things matter to you, think about making an investment to have elite level discipleship. That's all I got to say on that. Anything else to add there?
No, I think that you nailed it all.
I appreciate it. This is going to be an interesting conversation because we decided to not have a big outline and sometimes we really draw these shows out specifically. And here's kind of a script we want to follow. And we kind of threw some topics out there when we were messing around. When we were getting our nails done today, full transparency. We Manny Petty day for us.
Yes.
And we threw out a few topics and thought, let's just talk about these things and see what the audience, what their feedback would be. So I want you to get engaged with the show. And whether you're on audio or most of you are taking this or consuming this on YouTube, get in the comments. Let us know what you think, right?
Yeah.
We want to start conversation. We want to know what value this is providing. We want to know what your thoughts are because where real dialogue happens, real growth happens. And that's what we're all here for, right?
Yeah, just to continue to grow.
Heck yeah, that's the idea. So I don't know, go.
So I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and I came across this gay couple and one of the men are blind and then the other man obviously is not blind. So he's like the helper in the relationship. And the gay man writes children's books and he designs calendars and all this stuff. And in the children's book, both of the characters are two men and they're in a relationship together. And he was reading some of the comments that he was getting. And I guess a lot of Christian people were commenting in the comment section, being like, this is wrong. You should not be publishing this to children. Children shouldn't be reading this, etc. And then there was, I guess, a woman who also says that she's Christian who commented on that and said that I am a Christian and I have children, and I believe that the children should be shown that love is love and that everyone should love everybody. And then he did his response to all the commentary and was like, that's who Christian people should be. Christian people should just love everybody and show love. And you're not being a good Christian if you don't show love to everybody. And so I was curious on what your thoughts would be on that particular issue.
Wonderful topic. Thank you. And I was taken aback because I needed to sit on what you were saying, blind, gay, children book author.
Yes.
Okay. So good on them. I am not beating up on these dudes because they're gay. I don't do that. If you guys would go back and listen to last week's episode 34, I had a gay dude on. Gay Christian Trump supporter, autistic dude, Matt Melvin. It's a great episode. And we talked about that. And I'm not a gay hating Christian. I don't think that is if you hate anybody, you are not a Christian person. We're to hate evil,
Right.
I believe. So do these guys even profess that they're Christians, these gay guys, or probably not?
No, I don't know.
Okay. So let's just assume they don't. So writing books, okay, great. I've written a couple books. I think that's a great way to express your views, and you have every right to do that. Do I have a beef with them targeting these to children to explain the homosexual lifestyle? Yeah, I don't like that. And I would say I also wouldn't like it if it was any other sin that went against how God would instruct us to live in the Bible. So this isn't a homosexual issue, okay? If it was a book about I'm married, but I'm in an adulterous affair, I want to write a book about my adulterous affair and target it to kids, that's a problem too, even if it's heterosexual, because it's sinful behavior, and I don't think we should be marketing sinful behavior to kids.
No, I agree.
That would be my thought there. Now, to the comment about, well, as Christian people, you should love everybody and you should just be okay with teaching children all about love. Love isn't about, you're not loving somebody if you tell them that a lifestyle of willful sin that goes against the will and word of God is acceptable and is going to give them the right life.
I agree. And I also don't understand the point of writing a book like that and publishing it to children, because children's minds are like clay. They're so malleable. And they're going to believe and they're going to click on whatever is super trendy or whatever, and whatever they think is the new hot button. And that's why, for so long, all of these kids were trans and wanted to be cats.
I got a stat.
Hold on.
Dude, thank you for bringing that up.
All of this stuff. But if you're pushing this stuff down their throats, they're not going to understand the difference. So if grown-ups want to decide that they're gay or trans when you've lived a full life and you have a fully developed brain, then that makes sense. But if my child were to sit down and tell me, I think that I'm gay, I would tell her that she's wrong, because she doesn't know. She doesn't know what any of that means.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything that you said. I also want to tell the audience, we're not here speaking for every Christian person in the world. We're speaking for us and our family.
Correct.
And our beliefs. We believe in the Bible.
Yep.
We also believe that we sin and we're not perfect people, and thus the need for a savior. If Christian people think they're better than everybody. No, in fact, Christian people understand, real Christ followers understand that we're so not better than anyone. And the only way that we can have a right relationship with God is to accept the atoning sacrifice of Jesus.
Well, and not to ping pong back to the intro, but that's another reason why we have this group, is because we do fall short sometimes. We do want to rest back on our laurels, and having a group that's like, you need to get up, call you out on your crap, stuff like that. It's nice because we want to get better, but sometimes left on our own, when we're choosing not to walk with Jesus, we fall back. So when you're in a group where the first person at the top of their pyramid is Jesus and the rest of it trickles down, you're less likely to fail.
Yeah. No, you're so right. That's a great word.
It's just, and that's why I'm like, why where is the disconnect here? Why are you guys getting so upset over this and so offended when all you have it's $99?
Yeah. Yeah, the crux of that is anything that has to do with Christ should be free, or you're a scumbag for wanting to help people
So
with
then
it.
can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
What is your stance on tithing then?
Oh, great.
Because we tithe at, obviously our pastor takes a salary and the people
Yeah.
that work at the church
Right.
take a salary and we're tithing. Our church is trying to expand. And so they're asking for us to tithe more.
Yeah.
So what is your stance on that?
So I have a powerful tithing testimony, and I don't tithe for the purpose of our pastor or even our church. I tithe because for me, it's an act of obedience and trust. And it's commanded in the Bible, in the book of Malachi. And I love the fact that it's the only place in the scripture where God says it's okay to test him. Here's what He says, bring the first 10% to the storehouse and see and watch if I will not throw open the floodgates and your barns will be overflowing. He says, test me in this. So for me, tithing is more, it's not a money issue for me. I used to approach it before I started tithing, and I would hear these messages about tithing and be, oh, they're just here for my money. And then God did a work in my heart, and he told me, instead of being angry and thinking that you're giving 10% of what's yours away, understand that God is so gracious and loving that he's allowing you to keep 90% of his.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. It changed my whole perspective. In a nutshell, when people ask me what my tithing testimony is, and if I have to give them the elevator pitch, I'll say, here's what happened. I was going to church. I was saved. I'd been sober at this point. God has changed my life, and going to men's group and things like that. But when I started tithing and I took that step of real faith and I put some risk behind it, and I decided to trust God with finances, because now the rubber's meeting the road. That's when my faith got some legs and really started getting in motion.
Because it's getting really tested. Faith that can't be tested can't be trusted.
Come on.
So I
Yeah.
think that's powerful. And the same thing, I mean, it kind of applies here, right? Like you have to put a little bit into it to get a lot back.
Right.
And that's
You
and
have to invest in any areas that are important to you, because where there's no investment,
there's
where there's no
growth.
cost, there's no commitment.
Well, because it doesn't count. It doesn't hurt. If you're not, and I'm not talking like actual pain, but then you don't feel it. You have no skin in the game.
That's right.
That's why, like with your car, when you go out and you purchase a car and you got car payments on that car, you want to be a good steward of that vehicle, right? It's supposed to last you. How long do loans last?
5, 6 years.
Okay. So you want to make sure it lasts the duration of the majority of that loan, because if you don't, then you're what? That's because you have skin in the game. You've already paid this much money, so you want to take care of it. That's where this $99 comes in. You're going to pour a little bit in, and then your cup is going to overflow from the amount of people pouring into you.
Yeah, we're so excited to be able to partner not with just each other, but so many people that are like, "Hey, we're ready to be discipled as well." And it's changed everything. So when we talk about tithing, that's my thing with tithing. It just is a way to put some legs to your faith, get some skin in the game, and be obedient to God. And when people want to make it a money issue, it's just not a money issue. The scripture is very clear, and it says, where your treasure goes, your heart follows.
Yeah.
So if you want to show me your checkbook ledger for a month, I'll show you what's on your heart,
Yeah.
for sure, because that's how you can tell. So when we go back to talking about I wanted to bring up this statistic, because you talked about children and their minds being malleable, and they're not exactly sure, and they're really searching, and they're trying to find an identity. This is why it's so dangerous for children, especially in 2025 with all of the distractions and influence and social
Yeah.
media. It's so dangerous to them to not have a rooted identity in Jesus Christ, because they're searching for one. It was dangerous for me as an adult person until I found Christ. I was constantly searching for my
To
identity.
fill your vices with other stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
This stat's going to blow your mind.
Tell me.
In 2023, 9% of children ages 10 to 18 9% of them identified as trans.
Yeah, that's insane.
And if you look at the timeline going back 50 years, it's half of a percent, half, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's 9%.
Yeah, but I think there's also, who we had as president and
All of that. Now, praise God, 2 years later in 2025, you know what that 9% number's down to?
6.
2.5%.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jesus, that the indoctrination that the freaking weirdos in this country are trying to do to our children is failing. And good is winning over that kind of evil. And this isn't a political talk. I'm not talking about politics and issues. I'm talking about going after the hearts and minds of young people and manipulating them into mutilating their bodies and messing up their lives and their futures and confusing them with mental health.
Exactly. They're being taught that they're broken.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's going to fix them is to pump them full of hormones or antidepressants or a sex change.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why we have all of this other stuff.
My view is that it's very, very rare for a young person to just on their own come to the realization that they are a trans child. What generally happens is a really twisted up adult has told them they are.
I try to think back to when I was a child, and I don't know when I discovered, like, I knew the word gay, but it was like more in like that's gay, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like two people being gay. And I don't even remember when I learned what a transgendered individual was. Like, those weren't even topics of discussion when I was little. It's
Yeah.
like play cops and robbers and where's the Lincoln Logs. And to be like, just it is our job as adults to make our children are going to have memories regardless. But it's our job as adults to make sure that our children have good memories. And that's solely on our shoulders, because our children are going to look back and be like, wow. And then it starts this cycle of how then they choose to parent their kids, and how their parenting styles and what memories are they going to make. And so we break this cycle with all of that toxic behavior.
There's no, when it comes to children, it's our responsibility to show them truth and to show them love and to introduce them to Jesus and to set those standards in our homes. Now, if you're not a Christian person, okay, no judgment. You can still raise well-adjusted children and you can love them and protect them. And what I want to say is, I don't have a problem with the guy writing the book. Okay.
No.
Other than we're marketing it to children. Stay away from the freaking kids. If people want to go to drag queen shows, you go do you. Okay. We ain't showing up there. But if you're a grown consenting adult and that's the behavior you'd like to engage in, I'm not here to judge you and I'm not here to tell you you can't do it. If you're a free person, a citizen in the United States of America, you want to engage in that as an adult, you go do you. But when you want to come out and put that in front of our children, now we've got a problem.
No, I agree.
That stuff needs to stop. And there's been a huge pushback because our political climate has changed. And when somebody like me, let me just give you, for those that don't quite know me, here's a few things I'm about. I love Jesus. I love America. I'm pro law enforcement. I'm pro strong borders. I'm pro small government. And I love lifting weights and getting freaking jacked and in good shape. And I'm here to stand up and direct, protect, and provide for my family. I'm pro Second Amendment because that's what we need to protect the First Amendment. Those are things I'm about. And everything I just listed off, do you know what you know what a portion of the population of this country wants to call me? A bigot, a racist, a misogynist, all of these kinds of things. I'm not any of those things. I've told you what I'm all about. And I'm also not about telling you have to be everything that I'm about. But you are not going to come at our child and tell her that what we believe in or teaching her is wrong and this is really right because of your twisted up lifestyle and mental illness. I'm not playing that freaking game.
No, I agree.
Not going to do it. Stay away from the kids.
I agree.
And there's not enough of us that have stood up and said, stay away from the freaking kids. Because we're afraid we're going to get canceled.
Well, I just think that the majority of the society, and I've seen this as late, are just soft. Like, nobody has the balls, I guess, to stand up
You can say balls.
and decide like I'm done living this way, or I'm going to make better decisions to set a better example for my family. Everyone's okay being so below the watermark and just riding it through.
Wow.
And that's just kind of where society is as a whole. So if they don't care about themselves, how do they care about their children?
Wow. Guys, pull out your pen and write that down. If you don't care about yourself, how are you going to care for your child? That is gold. I'm going to tell you another problem that I see, and I see this in the circle of Christian dudes that I hang out with. They love Jesus, not, disputing that or judging that, but these are the kind of the soft, as you mentioned, the overweight, probably drinking a little too much, probably being a little disengaged from their family, operating in some passivity rather than being fully engaged in life. And these guys, they go to church once in a while and they go to men's group and they think that's good enough because they don't want to be discipled, because now something's going to be expected from them and they're going to be challenged, and life might get a little hard in some areas. So what they do is they surround themselves with another 6 or 7 people from church so they can sit around and talk about how the way they are is okay and everybody else is a bad person.
Mean. They're bullies.
That's right. They're bullies. They're talking about that if you're not a real Christian, if you're 400 pounds, guess what? If you don't have physical excellence, you don't have the necessary spiritual disciplines to be a full-on, on-fire Christ follower. Boom, said it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why the path that once you choose to separate yourself from the masses, the path is lonely. It's
Ooh,
hard.
that's right.
It's because, and you have to be okay with who you are as a person and figuring that out and having conversations with Jesus and making Jesus one of your friends.
Yeah,
Be-
your best friend.
yeah, because everybody else, they don't let you down. I just think that maybe they do let you down, but what you see in yourself and what you know you're capable of, you want that for everybody else. And so when you see those people constantly falling below the mark, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
And it makes you pissed off.
it does.
And it's hard. Like I personally, left to my own character, without having Jesus operate in my life, I am a scissor person. Like I will cut you off, give me a pair of scissors, light switch, like I don't care. I will never speak to you again. That is how I operate. I don't do that back and forth. Let's discuss, talk about our feelings. If I am done, I am done. And that's how I can be, but how I'm actively trying not to be in my friendships today, because I know that it burns bridges and it cuts off relationships and it throws me back. And so you have to just love people as they are. And that's hard. That's a hard place to be in.
It is hard, and it's also the right way to love. You're not telling them that everything they're doing or not doing and the choices to stay stuck and to live as less than they're capable of being, you're not telling them that that's just wonderful and they should never change. You are living out an example of what it looks like to not be soft. You're living out a transformed life in Christ, and you're doing it right in front of them.
Yeah.
That's the best witnessing you can do. I share with people all the time that you should always, as a Christ follower, be witnessing to the world, and you should rarely have to open your mouth.
I came across a picture of me. I'll show it to you right now.
Okay, go.
And then we can attach it in the comments if anybody would like to see it.
The transformation, for those of you guys who haven't seen Allie's transformation, I try to post a lot of it. I'm at Real Jim Motz on Instagram. You can go on my Instagram and find all kinds of transformation pictures of Allie. The one that she's showing right now is crazy to me. I'm speechless. I mean, I'm sitting here in front of a microphone and not much to say in front of it. You can kind of hold up your phone. I don't know if they're going to be able to see it or not.
I don't think so.
We'll do our best to attach this. I'll write down where we're at to attach it. We're okay. I got it.
Well, it'll probably be attached in the
Instagram. Like in the comments or the Instagram. So you can put this up. You can even do it today.
Yeah.
So guys, go to Allie's Instagram. So it's alligator. We've been through this before. Read it off to him, Al. ALL.
LLL.
4 L's. Al, A and 4 L's. IGATOR.
Yeah, underscore. So the picture that we're going to show you is from 2023. I was in Adventureland with my daughter. And I had platinum blonde hair. So I probably weighed, I don't know, 160-ish pounds, 165.
Yeah, 165.
Yeah.
Well, what do you weigh today?
122.
122.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know how the cameras, I'm sure she comes across beautiful. Allie's freaking ripped. She's got her Barbie oversized sweatshirt on. Allie's jacked and ripped. And if you go to her Instagram, you're not going to see a bunch of inappropriate pictures, but you're going to see her ripped. Okay. And I'm so proud of you because Allie made the decision to, you know what? I was living less than. I wasn't setting the right example for our daughter. That's what you believed, right?
Yeah.
This isn't the life this isn't my future. I'm done being that person.
I was at church on Sunday, and this is something that has really spoken to me, and it's been living in my head. I get these things, and they just live in my head for a week or so. And this, I took a picture of Jim and I's rings while we're sitting in church, and it's like I traded in late Saturday nights for early Sunday mornings, and I 1,000% did. My favorite thing to do we used to be a White Claw FaceTime, and I would do that with my dad on Fridays and Saturday nights, and we'd be up until gosh, I don't know, midnight, and I'd put away a case or two. Jim would just see them on the on the counter, and I would sleep until 8 or 9, and I made a decision like I'm not doing that anymore. And it's nice to be up and alert and not groggy or whatever or short tempered. And it's so much better to go to bed at 8 o'clock and to get up at 5 and to feel alive. I didn't feel alive for so long. And that person in that photo in 2023 did not feel alive. You mask all of that stuff with all of this bravado and fake self-love. And it was just like every page once I just like pivoted, everything else turned. My self-worth doesn't come from what makeup I'm wearing or if I have the best clothes because I know that Jesus made me the way that I'm supposed to be. I have all of my stuff was given to me. He hand selected all of that stuff for me. And that's the biggest blessing ever. Nobody could ask for anything better. And then I was able to develop other confidence within myself and how I parent and how I wife and how I friend and all of that stuff. And that is again to tie back into building and becoming, you can't share the stuff that you're winning at with other people. They just don't get it. They'll give you the oh, that's really great, or look at that muscle, or you really killed it in the gym, or whatever. Just like the rate, like the normal congratulations, like you just, I don't know, got an award or something. But the way that you get congratulated in a group with people who are actively chasing the same thing that you're chasing is different. It's like they really appreciate and they know how hard it was, and they know that you put a lot of effort in to achieve those goals. So you develop a second family. And for people that don't have a good support system outside of wherever, maybe their family drinks a lot, maybe their husband or wife are a little detached or not interested in becoming the better versions of themselves, you get that here. You don't feel lonely.
That's the greatest testimony for what we're building that I've ever heard. And because of that, I'm going to make sure that in the YouTube episode description at the top is going to be a link to come in and join us and talk about that offer that I have for you to come in for a free week and meet not only Allie and I, but everybody else that I mentioned and all the other people in the group. Please take advantage of it. And if you're listening on audio, I'll make sure it's in the description of the episode as well for you guys on Audible and Apple and Spotify, because it's a big deal. And we've built this elite level infrastructure so you can be provided elite level discipleship. And we're honored to be able to do it. And we want you to give it a try. When Allie talks about the changes that she made, God told me that because when Allie and I first got together, we were living different types of lifestyles. I've been a sober person for over 22 years, and I've been a Christian for almost 22 years, coincidentally enough. But not as on fire for Christ as I am today. And what God told me was, Jim, you can't change her. Stop trying to make her into something that she's not right now. But God told me, if you'll continue to trust me, if you'll continue to allow me to work through you, Jim, I'll take care of Allie. I'll take care of Arlie. I'll take care of building this relationship that's going to be a godly marriage where you can thrive together and raise a Christ-loving daughter. And I trusted God with that, and the results sit before me. And it's even difficult for me to sit here and talk about, because I never thought, after what I went through, I was married for 19 years and divorced in 2023, and I never thought that a family was going to be for me. I never thought that I would have a woman who actively loved me and was pursuing Jesus. And I thought that was over for me, and I didn't know what life had for me. But you know what I did is I continued to trust Jesus even when I wasn't hearing from him. And who he's provided me is beyond my wildest imagination. And I'm humbled that I get to be around Allie every single day. To have a wife where it's 5 a.m. and I have the Bible out in front of me in my devotional time, and I get a text from her, and she's sending me something that God put on her heart, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm thinking, this is not normal life. And I love that it's not normal, because we're not normal people. We love Jesus. We're on fire to get in great shape. We're on fire to help other people become their best selves. And this is what we've dedicated our lives to. And we just are so humbled that you guys spend a little bit of time with us doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, look in the notes for the links. They're right there. You guys can reach out to us. We don't have a team that's responding to our comments and our DMs and stuff. We do it all personally.
Not we. Jim does it.
I do it all
He
personally.
does a good job. So be nice to him.
It's no big deal. You don't have to be nice to me. Be respectful to me. I don't need nice.
Stop telling him he's a gay hater or whatever.
Right.
Be a little nice.
You know, it's funny. I get both sides. I got some people telling me you're a gay basher and you're a homophobe. Then I got other people telling me you're a closeted homosexual. I'm like, well, which one am I? Am I gay or do I hate them?
What also kills me too, let's not gloss over the fact that then there are gay men who get on there and actively pursue him. So
dude, the gays love me.
For one time, there was a point a few months ago where the only people that were following Jim on Instagram were gay males.
For sure. I've got that. I get hit on by more gay guys. I'm like,
I hit on you.
For sure. The most flirting I get. No, I'm not even going to go there.
Is from gay men online.
But I'll tell you what, man, I'm like, hey, man, I'm not they'll be like, send me a picture of your shirt. I'm not sending you. What are we talking about here?
Jim's like, how much you going to pay me?
Yes, yeah. Well, we're not there yet. So I'll tell you what, Allie, I appreciate everything that you said today. Your transformation is worth the price of admission. And anybody that can spend an hour with you is going to have goosebumps on their arms hearing your story. They're going to be motivated to be their best. And once they start meeting everybody else in the group, their lives are going to transform. It's freaking amazing.
I hope that we can get maybe some females in the group.
Yes, absolutely.
I would love that. Let's connect. It's a little bit male heavy, which is fabulous. I love that. But we need some estrogen.
We need women that will come in and build the community, because without strong women, it's not well-rounded enough. And we also, you know what? I want to start getting some kids in. And here's what I mean. So dads who are raising young boys, moms who have young boys or girls that they're like, hey, come on in and listen to a Zoom call. They're appropriate, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
So, we're not doing things that are inappropriate here. This is a Christ-centered deal. Well, and it's certainly appropriate for children. Everything
is done better when it's done in a family setting. There is nothing that Jim and I do that Arlie can't be a part of. And that's really important. It helps, I think, let her know that she can feel involved and included, and that there obviously is hierarchy levels in our family, and she knows that. But we also don't want her to feel that at every turn, well, you can't be a part of this. So Arlie gets to have conversations about her goals, and we talk to her like she's an adult and what we need from her. She gets to be a part of the tithing. She gets to be a part of the cooking. We do our best that everything that's done, we do with Arlie. Jim and I don't go out and do activities that aren't kid friendly. Everything that we do is done as one big unit. So anything that we're going to create is going to be done as one big unit.
I'm going to go even a step further. Anybody out there that wants to take advantage and come in and join the group, if you have children, they can come in for nothing.
Yeah.
They can have their own separate membership for free. So if you're a dad and you've got two young boys, they're 12 and 15, come on in and join us. They can come in for free. their own separate memberships, so their own logins, the whole 9 yards. They can come in for free.
A little bit of independence.
Yeah, so
1,000%.
I think it's a great idea. Thank you for mentioning that. Anything else you want to finish with before we get out of here? It's going to be around a 40-minute episode, give or take.
I leave to go out of town on Thursday. I'm traveling 11 hours, so just a prayer. I guess never mind. I was going to ask for prayers, but
I'll pray.
I know you.
This episode will come out
The day that I'm driving
while
home.
so prayers as you're listening to this for Allie's drive home, because she
11
likes to
hours.
travel across freaking country by herself in a car. Apparently they ran out of airplanes.
I packed too much. I'm going to need 3 suitcases.
4 days, 3 suitcases, 1 only has shoes in it. Welcome to my life.
I know.
Bye.
Goodbye.